And we are live here for another edition of PGCBL Baseball as the 1-6, yes, 1-6 Newark Pilots host the 4-3 Elmira Pioneers. And big story, the Newark Pilots picked up their first victory a few days ago against the Auburn Doubleday, 7-6 off the bat of the hot-hitting Dom Camera. And for Camera, he went 3 for 4 on the night against Auburn with a double and threw a runner out by a mile at second base. Already underway here at Colburn Park. Running behind him, we have a packed press box up here tonight at Colburn. It'll be Matt Granato leading things off for the visiting Elmira Pioneers. So top of the first, Granato leads off, batting .444 on the summer thus far for the Pioneers. First pitch from Anthony Laurinaitis getting the start tonight. That one misses outside. Count at 1-0. So 1 ball, no strike. As Matt Granato out in left field wearing number 1 for these Pioneers here tonight. The 1-0 pitch from Laurinaitis. That one swung on and hit into center field for a base hit. Frankie DiMartino will throw that one in for a base hit to lead things off for the Elmira Pioneers. As that'll bring up the extra hitter, number 8, Cooper Smith now. Again, 0-0 your score. That was the first batter. It was a leadoff single for Matt Granato. So that will now bring up Cooper Smith, the extra hitter, number 8 tonight. As Cooper Smith steps in to face Anthony Laurinaitis. That one swung on and missed. Big cut and big miss. Count now 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike, no outs here to Cooper Smith, the extra hitter. The 0-1 pitch swung on and hit. That one's going to get to the shortstop who throws. That's Flaherty who threw over to first, not in time. An infield single for Cooper Smith, the extra hitter. As the count, that will now bring up Aiden Blake, the second baseman, batting .291 thus far on the summer as Blake will step in. Again, apologize to those listening at home. We do have the Elmira Pioneers broadcaster in the booth as well, so there might be a little bit of interference between the two broadcasts. Small press box up here at Colburn Park as Aiden Blake will step in to face Laurinaitis, who Back-to-back hits for the Pioneers have runners on first and second in the top of the first. First pitch to Cooper Smith, bounced in the dirt. Count at 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes, as Cooper Smith will step back in from Bloomington, Minnesota. He's on the Northern Essex Community College roster. 5'11", 195 righty, as that one's popped up foul. Count at 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike. No outs here in the top of the first. Back-to-back singles for these Elmira Pioneers. As Laurinaitis got the start actually about a week ago on last Tuesday. So exactly a week ago, Anthony Laurinaitis started against these Elmira Pioneers at Dunn Field. The Pilots ended up getting shut out in that one, 8-0, the final score in the game. And for Anthony Laurinaitis, his stat line, he went 4 innings, gave up 2 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. So not a bad start to the season. Laurinaitis coming to this one with a 4.5 ERA as Laurinaitis stepped off the mound. Again, it's Aiden Blake at the plate. 5'11" righty will step back in from Bloomington, Minnesota. 1-1 pitch from Laurinaitis. That one swung on and fouled off yet again. Count at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. One-two pitch. That one fouled off yet again. As count at 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No outs here. Top of the first, Laurinaitis in his second start with the Pilots. He'll step back on quickly. Gage Boatman behind the dish tonight for the Pilots. That one swung on and fouled off yet again, so we'll do the 1-2 yet again. And Boatman also did catch the game for Newark for the Pilots back a week ago in Elmira. So this pitcher-catcher combo, very familiar with one another, went 1 for 3 on the night, batting out of the 9-hole for the Pilots. As Gage Boatman had a single in that game. That one swung on and missed, strike 3. Throw back over to first. That one's going to get in the outfield, and the runner's going to advance, and he's going to not round third. He'll run into the third baseman. And it looked as if the runner ran right into Timmy Wagner, was probably going to head home. Head coach Andrew Drum is protesting that with the home plate umpire, but I don't think he saw it. Timmy Wagner collided with the runner, as that's Matt Granado at third base, and Andrew Drum's going to protest with the umpire, but it's not going to go his way because the umpire didn't see what happened exactly, I don't believe. Tim Wagner was in the baseline, and it looked as if the Elmira Pioneers were going to score a run there. I don't think either umpire saw what had happened at third, but Timmy Wagner clearly was in the baseline, and the runner had ran into him. As they will disperse, so runners on the corners after the strikeout, and that'll be an E1 on the errant throw from Laurinaitis. So Granado advances to third base on the E1, but a strikeout swinging for Aiden Blake. He'll be 1 away. Runners on the corners here. Top of the first inning, 0-0 your score here at Historic Colburn Park. A little bit of an overcast. First pitch curveball in for a strike. Beautiful pitch there from Anthony Laurinaitis. And infield playing in here, trying to prevent the run at home, it appears. As that's Blaze Fadio up at the plate, the shortstop, batting .300 on the summer. The second pitch of the AB misses high, count at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. And again, you're listening on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. The pitch, that one swung on and hit down the first base line. The first baseman won't field it, but he will tag the runner, and that will score a run. So a 3 unassisted by Blaze Fadio. So an out for 3 unassisted with an RBI for Blaze Fazio, and the Pioneers lead the Pilots now 1-0. So 1-0 your score now with an RBI for Blaze Fazio. As that will now bring up Wes Ginrich. First pitch, a big swing and a big miss. Count at 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. 1-0 your score here. And again, the Pilots have tomorrow off, but they'll be right back here at Colburn Park, and I'll be calling that game here on Finger Lakes 1 Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. So 7:05, first pitch start time. That one lined right to the shortstop, who jumps and makes the grab. So rule that one L6. The Pilots get out of a jam, only giving up 1 run. Heading to the bottom of the second inning, it'll be Frankie Vanzalata leading things off. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes 1 Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. As we are back here on Finger Lakes 1 Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, it'll be Frankie Vanzalata from SUNY Brockport, the Golden Eagle, and Dutchess County, New York, will lead things off for the Pilots, and the Elmira Pioneers strike first. In the top of the first, they scored one run on 2 hits and stranded 2 runners. Frankie Vanzalata with the John Party walk-up song. He'll step up to the plate, the lefty, and has pretty much all but solidified himself in that leadoff spot for the Newark Pilots. So Frankie Vanzalata will step in. And for Frankie, he went 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored and an RBI in the 7-6 victory against the Auburn Double Days. That one misses away. Counts at 1-1 now. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Frankie Vanzalata. The pitch, that one taken for a strike. Count at 1-2 to Frankie Vanzalata. Vanzalata, the Pilots' leader in batting average at .384, has been hot hitting out of the 1 hole for the Pilots. As that one misses high, counts at 2-2 now. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs here. as Frankie Vanzalata, the right fielder, will step in. The 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed and fanned at strike 3 for Frankie Vanzalata, as that will now bring up Michael Flaherty. So Michael Flaherty will come up to the plate now for the Pilots with one gone after the Vanzalata strikeout. First pitch in there for a strike. Counts at 0-1. The pitch, that one misses outside. Count at 1-1 now. And again, for those of you listening at home, apologize for the packed press box here. We'll be probably having interference most of the game as the broadcaster for Elmira is right next to me. That one misses low. Count at 2-1. So Michael Flaherty finds himself ahead in the count now. 1-0 your score here in the top of the first inning. 2-1 pitch. That one swung on and hit out into shallow center field. That one's going to drop for a base hit. So the Pilots' first hit of the game off the bat of Michael Flaherty. And that will now bring up Dom Camera from Hofstra University. And again, Camera needs no mention as Camera went 3 for 4 the other day for the Pilots in their first victory against the Auburn Doubledays. First pitch to Camera. That one misses inside and almost hits him. Count at 1-0. And Camera has made friends with what it seems like the entire Pilots dugout, the entire Pilots roster, always cheering for Dom when he's up at the plate. Very loud over there in the dugout. The 1-0 pitch from Coletta. That one misses inside as well. So 2 pitches very close to Dom Camera. Appears the Elmira Pioneers may have done some scouting after that great game that he had against the Auburn Doubledays 2 days ago. Batting .285 coming into this game. The 2-0 pitch from Coletta. Swung on and hit on a line to the third baseman. That's a base hit. Another base hit for Dom Camera and picking up right where he left off against the Auburn Doubledays. The Pilots have back-to-back hits and runners on first and second. And that'll now bring up Chris Ferrara from Emerson College by way of Coral Springs, Florida. And the Pilots looking to strike here in the bottom half of the first. Again, 1-0 your score. As Chris Ferrara will step up, number 24, and playing first base tonight by way of Emerson College for these Pilots. So Chris Ferrara will step in to face Coletta. So Chris Ferrara batting .250 coming into the game tonight. And Ferrara did play first base against the Auburn Doubledays, as that one misses as well. And the Pilots dugout energized here tonight. And there is an old saying that says you can't let the lots get hot. And it seems like that victory has all but rejuvenated this Pilots roster and this Pilots team. Second pitch, curveball drops in there for a strike. Count at 1-1. To Chris Ferrara, who went 1 for 5 against the Auburn Doubledays a few days ago, batting in the same spot in the lineup, had an RBI and a run scored. As Ferrara will step back in, the 1-1 pitch, that one misses low. Count at 2-1 now. As Ferrara gets himself ahead in the count, and a walk here would load the bases with the dangerous hitting Justin DiMartino on deck. And his brother Frankie behind him in the hole. The 2-1 pitch. That one taken for a strike. Pilots not happy with the call. Count evened up at 2-2 now. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 your score. Elmira Pioneers lead. You're listening on Finger Lakes One Radio. As that one swung and hit to the third baseman who fields and throws to the second baseman and on to first. 5-4-3 double play. So the Pilots strand 2, heading to the top of the second inning. Your score 1-0. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel will be Nick Montagna leading things off, the third baseman. Batting 181 on the summer thus far. As Nick Montagna, the third baseman, will step up, batting 181 on the summer. That one misses outside. Count at 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes, no outs here. Top of the second inning. Montagna will step back in here. Number 40 for the Pioneers. That one swung and hit on a line and grabbed by Timmy Wagner over there at third. What a play. L5 will rule that one. As that one, I'll bring up Spencer Aubin, the right fielder now for this Elmira Pioneers bunch. As Aubin from Dover, New Hampshire, plays college ball at UMass Lowell. 5'11", 185 freshman. That one in there for a strike. Count at 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the second inning. 1-0 your score as the Elmira Pioneers lead the Newark Pilots. That one swung on and hit foul into the Pilots bullpen over there. As the count now at 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Spencer Aubin will step back in for the Elmira Pioneers. The 0-2 pitch, that one swung on and fouled off same place. We'll do the 0-2 again as Anthony Laurinaitis gets himself ahead in the count with 1 away here in the top of the second. So no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Top of the second inning. Pioneers Pilots, a rivalry as old as time, as that one misses high. Count at 1-2 now. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here. As Anthony Laurinaitis out for his second inning of work. As the 1-2 pitch from Laurinaitis swung on and hit down the right field line. Vanzalata doesn't have enough in the tank to make the play as it dropped just in front of him foul. Count is at 1-2. We'll do the 1-2 again. As Aubin will step back in, the righty from UMass Lowell. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, as it's Anthony Laurinaitis on the mound for the Newark Pilots. The pitch from Laurinaitis, strike 3 called. Sit him down as Spencer Aubin goes down on strikes. What a pitch there from Anthony Laurinaitis. Ring him up with a backwards K. As that will now bring up the first baseman, number 44, Matt Frazetta. As Frazetta will step in with 2 away here in the top of the second. Anthony Laurinaitis plays his college ball at Keuka College in Penn Yan, New York. As that one in there for a strike. Strike 1. Count it 0-1. As a member of the Keuka Wolves, actually had him on the live stream to interview him not too long ago. As the 0-1 pitch misses for a ball. Count it 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Laurinaitis about 6'5", right-handed pitcher. The 1-1 pitch for Laurinaitis. That one just misses inside. Count it 2-1 now. So 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs here in the top of the second. Pioneers lead the Pilots 1-0 your score. As the 2-1 pitch misses low. Count at 3-1. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here. As Matt Frazetta, the first baseman, still without a hit thus far in the summer for Frazetta. As Frazetta will step back up to the plate. And in 2 games, 0 for 4 for Frazetta. That one misses high for a walk, so a 4-pitch walk. 5-pitch walk, and that will put Matt Frazetta on first base. That'll now bring up Eric Charnetsky, the designated hitter. Number 24 as he'll step in. Also without a hit thus far on the summer for the Elmira Pioneers. So Charnetsky will step in. And he is 0 for 4 on the summer thus far. So again, still without a hit. First pitch to him, bounce in the dirt, count at 1-0. With 2 away here in the top of the second inning. Eric Charnetsky will step up to the plate. The 1-0 pitch, swung on and hit. That one hit foul down the first base line here at Colburn Park. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here. In the top of the second, 1-0 your score across the board thus far. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors for the Pioneers. And no runs on 2 hits, 1 error for the Pilots. Curveball just misses high. Count at 2-1 now. So a very close pitch there near the letters at Colburn Park as Eric Charnetsky, the 9-hole batter for the Pioneers, will step back up. Frazetta on first, the 2-1 pitch from Laurinaitis. Swung on a miss, but fouled into the glove. Count at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. And in the wise words of the former Elmira Pioneers broadcaster, John Clement, it's a Tioga Down showdown. That one swung on and hit to the third baseman, but it gets through the gap for Charnetsky. And that will now bring up Brody Bartenstein, the catcher. And for Charnetsky, that was his first hit of the summer for the Pioneers. And that'll bring up Brody Bartenstein, the catcher, batting .250 on the summer for these Pioneers with runners on first and second. As Brody Bartenstein will step up to the plate. First pitch to him. That one swung and popped up. Chris Ferrara underneath it. Makes the play in foul territory for the third out of the inning. So Laurinaitis gets out of the jam. Heading to the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 your score here from historic Colburn Park. As always, I'm Kyle French. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. We are back here yet again at historic Colburn Park. It's Justin DiMartino leading things off for these Newark Pilots from Farmingdale State University as he'll step in. First pitch of the AB from Coletta, taken for a strike by Justin DiMartino. Count at 0-1, as that's Braden Coletta so far in 1 inning of work for him. 2 hits and a strikeout. Second pitch misses near the ankles of Justin DiMartino. His brother Frankie DiMartino awaits on deck. So the St. Dominic High School connection, 4 guys, Sean Lane, Frankie and Justin DiMartino, and Dom Cameron, that one popped up right side of the infield. Second baseman trails over to make the play. That's Aiden Blake for the pop out. So a P5 for as that's a P5 for Justin DiMartino, one away here in the bottom half of the second inning. As Frankie DiMartino from Hofstra University, the Division I program out of the Colonial Athletic Association. As Frankie DiMartino will step in. That one fouled out of play. Count at 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Frankie DiMartino will step in. That one swung and fouled off yet again. So 0-2 the count now to Frankie DiMartino. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. 1-0 your score in the bottom of the second inning. The 0-2 pitch from Clutter. That one misses high. The heater counts at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. The 1-2 pitch. That one swung on a hit, broken bat, popped up right to the shortstop. So a P6 for Frankie DiMartino. So back-to-back pop-ups from the DiMartino brothers, and that will now bring up Stephen Colangelo. As Colangelo will step in with 2 away quickly in the bottom of the second. First pitch misses high, did the fastball. Count at 1-0. Colangelo making his Pilots debut out of St. Lawrence University. The 1-0 pitch. That one half swing there for Colangelo. Count at 1-0 now. So 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. The 1-1 pitch from Coletta. That one swung on and hit out into right field. Right fielder underneath it. Foul territory makes the play. And foul territory does Spencer Aubin. So the Pilots go down 1-2-3, heading to the top of the third inning. 1-0 your score. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. Back here yet again for another inning of baseball. Top of the third inning as the Elmira Pioneers lead the Newark Pilots 1-0 thus far. Anthony Laurinaitis coming out for his second inning of work thus far for the Newark Pilots. And so far, so good in 2 innings of work, 3 hits, a run, and 2 strikeouts for Laurinaitis. First pitch of the AB to the leadoff man. So back at the top of the order for the Pioneers, it's Matt Granado. That one misses high. Count it 1-0. And for Granado, 1 for 1 in the night thus far. Singled and scored back in the first inning. As that one misses low. Count it 2-0. Granado came into tonight batting .444 for this Elmira Pioneers bunch. And he's 8 for 18 thus far. on the summer. That one swung on and hit into right center field. Frankie DiMartino under it makes the play for the first out of the top of the third inning. As that will now bring up the extra hitter, number 8, Cooper Smith. 1 for 1 thus far as he singled and was left on base back in the first. So 1 away, and Laurinaitis settling into a groove here thus far for the Pilots. 1-0 your score again. You're listening on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. First pitch misses low, count at 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out here. In the top of the third inning, the 1-0 pitch misses high, count at 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out here. To Cooper Smith, the extra hitter, he'll step in. Anthony Laurinaitis, again, back out there for his third inning of work. The pitch swung on and hit foul over the press box here at Colburn Park. Count at 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here. That one swung on and hit into right center field. Frankie DiMartino underneath it makes the play for the out. So 2 outs, and that'll now bring up Aiden Blake with 2 outs here. And for Aiden Blake, he struck out swinging back in the first inning in his first at-bat. One of the 2 strikeouts for Laurinaitis thus far here tonight. As the pitch from Laurinaitis, that one misses away, count at 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes. As the 1-0 pitch fouled into the net, count at 1-1 now. As 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Count at 1-1. That one just misses. Not sure where that one missed. Count at 2-1 now. So 2 outs. So 2 balls, 1 strike. As Anthony Laurinaitis, the pitch. That one popped up in the infield. Underneath it is Colangelo, who makes the grab in the shallow outfield for the third out of the inning. Heading to the bottom of the third, the Pios lead the Pilots 1-0. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. We are back here at Historic Colburn Park. It's Tim Wagner leading things off for the Pilots here. Batting .222 coming into tonight as it's Braden Coletto out for another inning of work. That pitch missed inside for a ball. Count it 1-0 And you're listening on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. 1-0 your score as the Elmira Pioneers lead the Newark Pilots 1-0. Second pitch of the AB misses outside, so Timmy Wagner finding himself ahead in the count, 2-0, as the lefty Braden Coletta steps back on the mound. The 2-0 pitch to Wagner, that one misses low. Count at 3-0 now. So 3 balls, no strikes, no outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Tim Wagner will step back in, and the Pilots looking for a leadoff walk. It's the heavy-hitting Tyler Walters awaiting on deck. Tonight's extra hitter. 3-0 pitch right down the pipe. As it appears Tim Wagner had the red light. That pitch taken for a strike. So the count at 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. That one misses high. A leadoff walk for the Pilots. And that'll now bring up Tyler Walters. As Walters will come up to the batter's box for the Pilots here. As Walters will step in. So Tyler Walters, the extra hitter, batting .250 thus far in the summer. That one comes inside and almost hits him. Count at 1-0 to Tyler Walters for these Pilots. As the 1-0 pitch swung on and missed yet for that one, as the count's at 1-1 now. So 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. As that one swung on and missed, 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Tyler Walters from Suwanee, Georgia, batting .250 thus far on the summer. As the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed, strike 3 and thrown back to first. As Timmy Wagner slides back in safely. That's the second strikeout of the game thus far for Coletta. As that will now bring up Gage Boatman from East Central University. So Gage Boatman will step up to the plate now for the Newark Pilots. Gage Boatman will step in from the right side of the batter's box with Timmy Wagner at first. That one hit to the shortstop, who fields, doesn't have a play at second, and that one will be an E6. So an E6 will put 2 runners on base for the Pilots, and that will now bring up the leadoff man and hot hitting Frankie Vanzalata. As Frankie Vanzalata, the SUNY Brockport Golden Eagle, will step up. 1 for 1 thus far on the night with a single. So error from the shortstop. First pitch of the AB misses high. Puts Gage Boatman at first base and Timmy Wagner on second. As that honestly looked like a routine double play. And that was an error from Blaze Fadia. Tonight's shortstop for the Elmira Pioneers. And the Pilots have something brewing here with an out in the bottom of the third. Frankie Vanzalata, curveball and misses high, count at 2-0. Frankie actually struck out swinging in his first at-bat. It was Michael Flaherty with the single in the first at-bat as he awaits on deck. Vanzalata struck out swinging for these Pilots. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out here to Frankie Vanzalata. Dutchess County, New York steps in. The 2-0 pitch, swung on and fouled. Out of play here at Colburn Park. Counts at 2-1 now to Frankie Vanzalata. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. 1-0 your score. Pilots looking to tally a couple on the board as Michael Flaherty awaits on deck. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. The pitch to Vanzalata. Swung on and fouled off. Yet again out of play. So The count's now even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Bottom of the third. Game moving by kind of quickly here thus far at Colburn Park, as the sun is all but gone. That one just misses outside. Breaking ball drops out of the zone and away. Counts full now, 3-2 to Vanzalata. Batting .384 coming into tonight for the Pilots. And this would load the bases if Vanzalata were to walk here. The full count pitch swung on and popped up a mile in the air as Bartonstein is underneath it. Makes the play. P2 to the catcher out of play. Second out of the inning. As that'll now bring up Michael Flaherty. 1 for 1 in the night with a single thus far. Has a chance to tie the game here or take the lead for the Pilots if he can find a gap somewhere as he steps up. 1 for 1 in the night. First pitch taken for a strike right over the heart of the plate. Count at 0-1 to Michael Flaherty. That pitch taken for a strike as well. Count at 0-2. So Vanzalata falling behind in the count. That one's going to hit back up the middle and fielded by the shortstop and thrown on to second. So 6-4, fielder's choice heading to the top of the fourth inning. 1-0 your score here at Colburn Park. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. We're back here yet again at Historic Colburn Park. 1-0 your score as we start things in the top of the fourth inning. Again, you're listening on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. I'm Kyle French, as always, bringing you some PGCBL action here at Colburn Park. Laurinaitis out for another inning of work. That one misses high. Counts at 1-0. And the Pilots have had some struggles thus far this season, leaving runners on base. And thus far, they've already left 3 guys on base. 4 runners left on base. The Pioneers have left 3 thus far. As at the plate now, counts at 2-0, 2 straight balls from Laurinaitis. It's Blaze Fadio. Had the error in that last half inning that would have allowed Gage Bowman to reach base on. The 2-0 pitch misses inside. Count at 3-0 now. So 3 straight balls to lead off the top of the fourth inning. From Anthony Laurinaitis to Blaze Fadio, the shortstop, tonight for the Elmira Pioneers. Batting 300 coming in to this evening. Had an RBI. That one misses, so a 4-pitch walk to lead off the inning. And that will now bring up Wes Ginrich. As Wes Ginrich will step in, the center fielder, 0 for 1 in the night thus far, lined out to the shortstop, Michael Flaherty, back in the first inning, so he'll step in. And as Ginrich will step in from Carmel, Indiana, and plays as a member of the Purdue Boilermakers, does Wes Ginrich. So it's Gingrich. That one swung on and popped up left side of the infield, foul. Count it 0-1 to Wes Gingrich. Batting .222 thus far on the summer. So Gingrich steps back in. No balls, 1 strike, no outs here. The 0-1 pitch taken for a strike. Count at 0-2 now. So after throwing 4 straight balls, 2 straight strikes from Anthony Laurinaitis. Looking to get out of the jam here, as that's Blaze Foddy over on first for the Elmira Pioneers. No balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch from Anthony Laurinaitis. Swung on a miss, strike 3 for the first out of the inning. That's his 3rd strikeout of the game thus far. And that will now bring up Nick Montagna, the third baseman. 0 for 1 in the night with a line out to the third baseman, Timmy Wagner, in the second inning. He was batting .181 coming into this evening. So Nick Montagna will step in now for the Elmira Pioneers with 1 away in the top of the 4th. Nick Montagna will step in as Laurinaitis throws over to Ferrara, not a threat to try and pick him off. Just keep the runner honest over there at first base. So he slides back in safely. As Montagna will step back in. That one misses outside. Count at 1-0. So first pitch, the AB misses for a ball as the runner slides back in safely. And Montagna did play last week on Tuesday when the Pioneers defeated the Pilots. He went 1 for 4 with a run scored. That one swung on and hit, popped up, foul. So the count at 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here to Nick Montagna in the top of the 4th inning. And again, the Newark Pilots will be hosting the Auburn Double Days on Thursday. That will be their next game as well. Have an off day on Wednesday, and they will host the Auburn Double Days, who they defeated just a few days ago for their first victory of the summer. 1-1 pitch, bounce in the dirt. Good stop there from Boltman. Runner thinks about it, but holds up at first. Boltman was ready to throw that one down. Good stop there from the catcher, Gage Boltman, for the Pilots. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here. To Nick Montagna, the pitch. Swung on and hit to Timmy Wagner, who throws over to Colangelo. Colangelo onto Ferrara. That one gets thrown away, as that one will bounce off the Pilots' dugout. So a 6-4 fielder's choice for the Pilots, and there are 2 away here as Montagna beat that one out. And that will now bring up the right fielder, number 42, Spencer Aubin. Pioneers wearing those navy blue jerseys, and Aubin has the red helmet to match. First pitch. That one swung on a miss. Big cut there from Aubin. Nothing doing. As the count's at 0-1 now. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here to Spencer Aubin, their right fielder. Anthony Laurinaitis had a leadoff walk, but settled into the inning thus far. The 0-1 pitch to Aubin. Stopped as that one was low. Good stop there yet again from Gage Boatman. They call him the brick wall behind the dish. As Boatman is reliable as they come behind home plate. 1-0, 1-0 the score. Pioneers lead the Pilots 1-0. 1-1 your count. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. The 1-1 pitch dropped in there for strike two as the breaking ball fooled Spencer Aubin. As 1 ball, 2 strikes now. 1 ball, 2 strike, 2 outs here. The 1-2 pitch from Anthony Laurinaitis popped up out of play into the netting here at Colburn Park. So we'll do the 1-2 again. And thus far this summer, record may be deceiving. The Newark Pilots have been in almost every game that they've played. The issue, honestly, has not been the pitching thus far. It's been stranding runners on base. And thus far, they've been picking up some bad habits as the runner heads towards second. They'll get in there for a stolen base. Good stop there by Boatman behind the dish, as the Pilots have struggled all season long bringing in guys when they have them in scoring position. Counts at 2-2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pioneers now have a runner in scoring position as Blaze Fadio stole second base. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Top of the fourth. The 2-2 pitch misses high. That'll put the count full at 3-2. And so far for Laurinaitis, 3.2 innings pitched, 3 hits, a run given up, and 2 walks on 3 strikeouts. So not a bad line at all thus far. Laurinaitis has been hanging in there and settling into a groove. Has a little bit of trouble with 2 outs. The payoff pitch swung on and hit into the Pilots' pen. Foul. So the count now full. We'll do the full count yet again to Spencer Aubin, the right fielder. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here, top of the fourth inning. The payoff pitch from Laurinaitis drops low and away, and that will put runners on first and second. And that'll bring up the 8-hole hitter, Matt Frazetta, and he walked and was left on base in the second. So Matt Frazetta will step up. Still without a hit thus far on the summer for the Elmira Pioneers. And the Pioneers looking for some 2-out magic. They have runners on first and second with 2 outs. Top of the fourth inning. As step off, they throw to second, out of, and the runner will head home. So an E1 to throw into the plate, not in time. So the runner steals third base and advances and scores on an error as Fadio, and that will also advance Aubin to second base. So a stolen base to third and advancing on an E1 yet again. So 2-0 your score now. As Matt Frazetta at the plate. And Laurinaitis had the right idea, knew the runner was going, but runner was already running back when he stepped off on the little lob back. That one hit into the netting, count at 0-1. Unfortunate break there for the Pilots. And the Pioneers jump out to a 2-0 lead here in the top of the fourth inning. That one swung and missed strike 2, counting at 0-2 now. No action yet in the Pilots bullpen. As Laurinaitis looking at right about 70 pitches. As the 0-2 pitch swung on and hit. That one's going to be hit into right field, and that one's going to get down the line. As that will score a run, an RBI double, and the throw-in not in time. As that's Frazetta's first hit of the summer. And an RBI double for Matt Frazetta. As it's a 3-run lead for the Pioneers now. 2 runs scored thus far this inning. And that will now bring up Eric Charnetsky for the Elmira Pioneers. 3-0 your score now, top of the fourth inning. First pitch at the AB from Laurinaitis. drops in there for a strike. Count it 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs to Eric Charnetsky. 1 for 1 with a single and was left on base back in the second inning. So the 0-1 pitch swung on and missed. Big cut there from Charnetsky. Counts 0-2 from Laurinaitis to Charnetsky. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. The 0-2 pitch bounces low. Count at 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning as the batter, Eric Charnetsky, will step up to the plate. So Charnetsky back up at the plate now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As the batter calls for time, Charnetsky will readjust his batting gloves and step out of the box. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Anthony Laurinaitis will step back onto the mound. The 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a big miss. Anthony Laurinaitis gets out of the jam, but not before the Pioneers put up 2 more runs. They lead the Pilots 3-0, heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. Pioneers lead the Pilots 3-0. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. As we are back here on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, it will be Dom Camera leading things off for the Newark Pilots in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pioneers put up 2 more runs in the top of the 4th. They now lead the Pilots 3-0 your score in the bottom of the 4th inning. So Dom Camera steps in. That one bounced in the dirt. Counts at 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, the count now to Dom Camera as he'll step back in. 1 for 1. He singled back in the 1st inning and, again, was 3 for 4 in that game against Auburn the other day. That one misses high. Count at 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes, no outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. As the 2-0 pitch misses away, and that one way over the catcher's outstretched glove. Count it 3-0 now. So 3 balls, no strikes to Dom Camera. And Chris Ferrara waits on deck for the Newark Pilots. The 3-0 pitch taken for a strike. Red light for Dom Camera on that one. So 3-1 the count now as Ferrara waits on deck. 3 balls, 1 strike. The pitch swung on and hit. That one's going to be hit out into deep left field. The left fielder's going to trail. That one's going to get all the way to the wall. Dom Camera's going to round second, and he's going to head towards third. Camera all the way into third, and he's going to slide in safely. A leadoff triple for Dom Camera. And the Pilots have something brewing here in the bottom of the 4th. Dom Camera absolutely on fire. Someone call the fire department, man. He is on fire. Dom Camera, a lead-off triple for these Pilots, and picking up right where he left off in that game at Auburn. Dom Camera, folks, from Hofstra University. As that will now bring up Chris Ferrara, first pitch of the AB. Swung on and missed. Count it 0-1. Man, Dom Camera sure knows how to fire me up. Count it 0-1. The pitch swung on and missed from Chris Ferrara. Count it 0-2 now. Camera sits on third base now for the Pilots. The 0-2 pitch. It's a 3-pitch. Not a strikeout, as Ferrara just able to nick that one into the netting here at Colburn Park. Count it 0-2. 3-0 your score, but that leadoff triple from Dom Camera giving the Pilots some life here. Justin DiMartino awaits on deck for these Pilots. None gone thus far in the bottom of the fourth. The 0-2 pitch swung on, and that one popped up. The catcher, Bartenstein, underneath it, out of play. So count 0-2. Another foul ball will do the 0-2 for the third time here at Colburn Park. No balls, 2 strikes, no outs here. 3-0 your score as the Pioneers lead the Pilots. In the pitch, that one misses high. In the bottom of the fourth inning. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs here to Emerson College's own Chris Ferrara. The 1-2 pitch to Ferrara. That one swung on, and that one hit right at the second baseman for the out. So score that one an L4 and 1 away. And that will now bring up Justin DiMartino from Farmingdale State University for these Pilots. As Justin DiMartino will step in now for the Pilots. First pitch taken for a strike as that one dropped in there. And that will now bring up Justin DiMartino. That one taken for a strike as well. Back-to-back strikes thrown to DiMartino and taken for strikes as DiMartino steps back in. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. The second out of the inning. And the Pilots yet again in danger of leaving guys hanging. And that will now bring up Frankie DiMartino with that golden opportunity here for the Pilots. Can the Pilots capitalize off the leadoff triple from Dom Camera? We will wait and see. That'll bring up Frankie DiMartino, his Hofstra University teammate and high school teammate as well from St. Dominic. Big cut and a big miss from DiMartino. Frankie was looking to send that one into the Erie Canal behind center field. Count at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. The pitch, that one swung and popped up. Bartenstein underneath it. That one out of play here at Colburn Park. 0-2 the count now. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here as Frankie DiMartino will step back in with an opportunity here for the Pilots. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth inning as Frankie DiMartino will step in. That one misses low. Count at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the. That one in there, strike 3 for the out, as that's the third out of the inning, heading to the top of the 5th inning. 3-0 your score. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. are back here at Historic Colburn Park, top of the fifth inning. Pioneers lead the Pilots 3-0 your score. Just taking a look at the rest of the June schedule. As tomorrow the Pilots have an off day, they will be back at home on Thursday to face the Auburn Double Days. At home again to face the Rochester Interstate team on the 16th. Then they'll be facing these very own Pioneers on Saturday. And then back at home on Sunday to face the Double Days yet again. So that's just a little look at the schedule. 2 straight balls from Anthony Laurinaitis to the batter, as that is Brody Bartenstein up at the plate. So Laurinaitis back out for another inning of work for the Pilots. The 2-0 pitch from Laurinaitis. That one swung on and popped up out of play into the stands here at Colburn Park. Count is at 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs here. Top of the 5th inning as Brody Bartenstein will step in. Foul fly out to the first baseman just behind the bag back in the 2nd inning. That one just misses outside. Not sure where that one missed. Count at 3-1. So 3 balls, 1 strike, no out here. No outs here in the top of the 5th. As Brody Bartenstein will step in. The 3-1 pitch from Laurinaitis. That one swung on and missed. Big swing there from Bartenstein. Nothing doing. That'll push the count full at 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. No outs here. Top of the 5th inning. Laurinaitis back out for his 5th inning of work. Looks like there's some movement up there in the Pilots' pen. That one misses low. Another leadoff walk for the Pioneers. As that will bring up Matt Granado. That was Laurinaitis' 4th walk of the game thus far. And that will bring up Matt Granado, who is 1 for 2 on the night. Singled and scored in the 1st and flew out to DiMartino in 3rd in his 2nd AB. So Laurinaitis will step in on the mound and to face Matt Granado. And there is someone up there throwing in the Pilots' pen. We'll let you know as soon as we see who it is. That one bounced in the dirt. Runner will hold at first. As the count's at 1-0. So far for Anthony Laurinaitis on the night, 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So quality start for Laurinaitis. Just no run support thus far. The Pilots have thus far stranded 5 runners on base. As that one swung on and fouled off. Counts at 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. In the top of the 5th inning. So 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs here. Anthony Laurinaitis again back out for his 5th inning of work. Comes set. And the pitch, that one misses high near the helmet area of Matt Granado. Count at 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs here as Matt Granado will step back in to the batter's box for the Elmira Pioneers. 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs. The 2-1 pitch swung on and hit. That was going to find the gap between 3rd and short, as that will be a no-out single, and the Pioneers have runners on 1st and 2nd with no outs, and that will now bring up the extra hitter number 8, Cooper Smith, 1 for 2 on the night thus far. Came in tonight batting .500 for the Pioneers. Singled in the 1st and flew out to center in his 2nd AB, and this is going to be a mound visit from Daniel Steve, the head coach for the Pilots. He's going to talk with Laurinaitis. Whole team, whole infield comes in to chat with their pitcher. As they will conference. Daniel Steve chatting with his pitcher. Looks like they're just trying to give time to the pitcher warming up in the bullpen down there. And again, once we know who that is, we'll let you know. As the conference breaks, Daniel Steve will head off. It's a lefty down there pitching in the pen for the Pilots. As I can't see it. Can't quite see who that is down there pitching for the Pilots, but when we know, we'll let you know. Can only be a few guys as the Pilots only have 5 four lefties listed on the team. That one's outside, counts at 1-0. Top of the fifth inning, 3-0 your score here at Historic Colburn Park. Across the board, 3 runs on 5 hits, 1 error for the Pioneers. The pitch misses as well, counts at 2-0, and this would walk the bases loaded if Laurinaitis were to walk Cooper Smith at the plate. And that likely wouldn't be John Sanchez as he started yesterday, so that probably is Pete Jocelyn, I believe it appears to be down there in the Pilots' pen. Looks to be a little on the shorter side from Fitchburg State University, so we'll let you know when he comes in. That one misses as well, so 3 straight balls from Laurinaitis, and a walk here would load the bases for the Newark Pilots. Aiden Blake awaits on deck for these Pioneers. The 3-0 pitch, taken at the knees for a strike, count at 3-1. Can Anthony Laurinaitis bounce back in the AB? We will find out. 3 balls, 1 strike, no outs here. Laurinaitis, the big 6'5" righty, steps back on the pitch. That one swung on and popped up foul, and that will push the count full now at 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs here. Cooper Smith will step back in. Can Laurinaitis bounce back from down 3-0 in the count? He comes set. The payoff pitch. That one just misses inside for a walk, and that will walk the bases loaded. And that will bring up number 9, the second baseman, Aiden Blake, for these Pioneers. Another righty. And we will see what the Pilots infield does. Looks like they're playing in, so they're playing the run at home, it appears. So we'll see. So far for Aiden Blake, struck out swinging and a fly out to the second baseman. That one's going to be hit down the third base line. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score, and the throw in. It's a 2 RBI double for Aiden Blake. The Pioneers now lead 5-0. Unfortunate break there for the Newark Pilots after the 2 RBI double. And that will now bring up Blaze Fadio, the shortstop, 0 for 1. Infield comes in, Daniel Steve comes in, and it looks like Laurinaitis' night will be over as new pitcher is coming out of the pen. We're going to take a break here on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. We'll be right back. Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. Pitching change for the Pilots is it's Cole Bartling from ECU, East Central University, coming on to pitch for the Pilots. That one fouled out of play. Count at 1-0. So runners on second and third. No outs. 5-0 your score. The pitch. That one. As that one's they're gonna say it hit him. As that will now load the bases here at Colburn Park. So a hit by pitch. And the bases are loaded. That will now bring up West Gingrich. So West Gingrich will come up to the plate for the Pilots. Here in the top of the fifth inning. Gingrich will step in. 0-for-2 in the ninth thus far. First pitch taken for a strike. Count at 0-1. So no balls, one strike, no outs here. 5-0 your score. Gingrich batting out of the left side of the batter's box will step back in. Lefty on lefty matchup. 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. And a strike. So 0-2 the count. Bartling coming on. Bases now loaded. Can he get out of the jam? And he strikes out the batter. So a strikeout there for Colt Bartling. And that'll now bring up the third baseman, number 40, Nick Montagna. One gone here. 5-0 your score now, top of the fifth, as the Pioneers lead the Pilots. Bartling with the strikeout there. That one in there for a strike. Count at 0-1 now. Bases loaded. Pilots looking for a double play ball here to keep them in this ball game. Of course, 5-0 not an ideal score, but anything more than that will be even harder to come back from as the breaking pitch misses low. Count at 1-1 now. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here. As Colt Bartling steps back up to the plate. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The 1-1 pitch, that one swung on and missed. Count at 1-2 now. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Cole Bartling looking to come on and get the Pilots out of a jam. There is someone warming up in the Pilots pen down there. I think that is Cameron Kingsley. As the 1-2 pitch from Colt Bartling. That one misses low. And they're going to say he went around. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Colt Bartling out of the pen, trying to keep this one close. As that will now bring up Spencer Aubin, the right fielder, 0-for-1 in the ninth. Struck out looking back in the second, backwards K, and walked and came around to score in the fourth. Bases loaded. Colt Bartling looking to come in and keep this thing tied at 5-0. Keep this Elmira Pioneers lead at 5. As the pitch from Bartling in there for a strike, count at 0-1. So Bartling doing really well in 6 pitches, 5 strikes, 1 ball for Bartling. As Bartling steps back on the mound, the lefty from East Central University is in the transfer portal. As the 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. 0-2 for Colt Bartling. 0-2 the count. 2 outs. As the 0-2 pitch from Colt Bartling. The 0-2 pitch from Bartling. Swung on, and that one hit to the third base line, but that one will go foul. So we'll do the 0-2 again. As a quick conference there from college teammates Gage Boltman and Colt Bartling at East Central University, a member of the Tigers baseball program. As the batter Spencer Aubin will step back in. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Bartling comes set. The pitch from Bartling, 0-2. That one's trying to hit to Timmy Wagner at third. He's going to grab it and touch the bag for the third out of the inning. Colt Bartling comes in with a bases loaded jam and gets out of it, heading to the bottom half of the fifth. 5-0 your score. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. As we are back here on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, to be Stephen Colangelo from St. Lawrence University stepping up to the plate for these Pilots. And first pitch in there for a strike count at 0-1. That one fouled off. Count at 0-2 quickly to Stephen Colangelo. Flew out in foul territory to the right fielder back in the second inning. So Colangelo will step back up to the plate. That one swung on and missed. Strike 3 to Colangelo, and that will now bring up Timmy Wagner. So Tim Wagner will step up to the plate now for these Newark Pilots. Playing third base tonight, wearing number 37. So Tim Wagner will step up. 5-0 your score. Bottom of that one almost comes in and hits Wagner. Tyler Walters awaits on deck for the Newark Pilots now. That one swung on and hit into deep center field. The center fielder underneath it. As that will now bring up Tyler Walters for these Newark Pilots. As Walters will step in and will step out for the Pilots quickly. So 2 away here. As Walters will step in. The 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Count at 1-1 now to Tyler Walters. 1-1 pitch. That one in there for strike 2. Count at 1-2 now. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here to Tyler Walters. The 1-2 pitch. Misses high and away. Count at 2-2 now. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Tyler Walters. That one swung on and hit into center field. The center fielder coming in. That was going to bounce in for a base hit for Tyler Walters. As that one drops in for a hit, that'll now bring up Gage Boatman. As Gage Boatman will come up to the plate now in his second season with the Newark Pilots. With the Pilots trailing 5-0 here in the bottom of the fifth inning. We'll see if Boatman can find a gap here and score Walters. Walters with speed over there at first base for the Pilots. As that one, he squares the bunt, and that's going to get to the backstop, and a pass ball there from the catcher. So now, Tyler Walters in scoring position for the Pilots. One ball, no strike to count to Gage Boatman. Walters on second base. That one swung on and hit. Foul, out of play. Thought Boatman got that one down the line, and so did he. Shaking his head in disgust there. Count it 1-1 now, but Gage Boatman still has an opportunity. A single here with the speed Walters has at second would likely score him. That one misses. Count it 2-1 now. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here. As Gage Boatman will step back in. The 2-1 pitch. Swung on a hit. That one hit to the second baseman who flips over to first. 4-3 ground out. That one from Aiden Blake to Matt Frazetta for the third out of the inning. Heading to the top of the sixth. 5-0 your score. Pioneers lead the Pilots. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. Back here at Historic Colburn Park for another inning of Pilots baseball. Pioneers lead the Pilots 5-0 here in the top of the sixth inning on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. And as always, I'm Kyle French. That one swung on and hit. That's Matt Frazetta. Hit to Timmy Wagner, who throws over to Chris Farrar at first, applies the tag. Great adjustment there from the first baseman, Chris Farrar, to make the play for the first out of the inning. So top of the sixth and 1 gone on the second pitch of the inning. And 1 gone. That'll bring up Eric Charnetsky on the 5-3. Great tag there from Chris Farrar at first, as that brings up the designated hitter, number 24, Eric Charnetsky. The pitch from Bartling, that one's swung and hit out into left field. Left fielder underneath it makes the grab, as that is Justin DiMartino out there. So an F7, too quickly away, and Colt Bartling settling into a groove, as that'll now bring up Brody Bartenstein. Bartenstein, 0 for 1 on the night thus far, flew out to Chris Farrar at first there in foul territory back in the second, and walked and scored back in the fifth inning. That's the pitch. That one hit up the middle as Flaherty comes in and throws on the first, 6-3 ground out. 6 straight batters retired for Colt Bartling. Heading to the bottom of the 6th inning, the Pioneers lead the Pilots 5-0. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. We are back here on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. It'll be Frankie Vanzalata from SUNY Brockport by way of Dutchess County, New York, leading things off. Vanzalata has pretty much, like I said earlier, solidified himself in this Pilots leadoff spot. Vanzalata has done a great job out of the leadoff spot for the Pilots thus far this summer, as he will step back in. So Vanzalata batting out of the left side of the batter's box. First pitch misses for a ball. Count it 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes, no outs here. Bottom of the 6th inning. Pilots up to bat as we're at the top of the order. Frankie Vanzalata, his third AB, struck out swinging in the first and popped up to the catcher in the third. Two quick balls to him from Coletta out for his 6th inning of work. 2-0 pitch, misses high. Count it 3-0. So 3 straight balls from Coletta, as Vanzalata will step back in. He's batting .384 coming into tonight for the Pilots. As the 3-0 pitch from Coletta squares the bunt, pulls it back. Ball 4, a leadoff walk for Frankie Vanzalata. And that'll now bring up the shortstop, number 20, Michael Flaherty. As Michael Flaherty will come up to the plate for these Pilots. As that one taken for a strike. Count it 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, no outs here to Michael Flaherty. 1 for 2 on the night. Singled back in the first. He's squaring the bunt yet again. Infield coming in. That one misses away. The runner goes well in time for the out. So caught stealing 2-6. is the runner, Frankie Vanzalata. Good throw there from the catcher, Montagna, for the out. So one away here in the bottom of the sixth inning. As Michael Flaherty at the plate, the 0-2 pitch. That one misses low. Count at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Michael Flaherty as he steps in. That one's trying to hit down the third base line. That will be a fair ball. Michael Flaherty is going to round first base, and that one gets all the way into the corner. Flaherty's going to head towards second and be in there with a stand-up double with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Good play there from Michael Flaherty as that one hugged the first base bag. And that will now bring up Dom Camera for these Pilots. And Camera, in his last AB, smoked a ball into the left center gap for a triple, leadoff triple in his last AB. So Camera steps in and looking to do some damage here, and he's been the heart and soul of this Pilots team the last couple of games. Camera 3 for 4 in the last game for the Pilots, and so far he's 2 for 2 tonight with a single and a triple. So Dom Camera steps back in, third AB. That one misses high, count at 1-0. So Dom Camera will step back in, and he has been on fire for the Pilots, looking to pick up where he left off, and he has done that so far here tonight. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, the pitch to Camera. That one misses low. Count it 2-0 now to Dom Camera as he'll step back in. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-0 Pioneers lead. Pilots looking to bounce back into this one. As Camera steps in, the pitch from Coletta. That one misses away. 3 straight balls to Dom Camera. And not sure if they'll just pitch around him at this point, but Ferrara awaits on deck for the Pilots. 0 for 2 on the night thus far. So 3 balls, no strikes. We'll see if Dom Camera has the green light. I imagine probably not. There is some action down there in the Pios bullpen. 3-0 pitch taken for a strike. Counts at 3-1 now to Dom Camera. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Dom Camera will step in. As Camera steps back in, the 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. So the count at 3-2 now. The count full. Dom Camera will have to step back in and fight back after being down 3-0. Coletta puts the count at full at 3-2. So Dom Camera steps back in. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. The payoff pitch. That one's trying to hit. That one's going to be into left field. That one is going to drop, not in, for an out. Error there from Flaherty's. I think he thought that one was in for a single. So a double play. Fly out to left field. The left fielder throws back to second for the out. So heading to the top of the 7th, base running error there from Michael Flaherty. Heading to the top of the 7th, 5-0 your score. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. As we are back here at Historic Colburn Park, top of the 7th inning, as it is Matt Granado, the left fielder, leading things off 2 for 3 on the night thus far. 2 straight strikes from Colt Bartling, who has been all business since coming in. 6 straight batters retired for Colt Bartling as Granado steps back in, and a base running error from Michael Flaherty for the Pilots in the last inning as that one's flied out into right field. Vanzalata underneath it makes the grab for the out. So an F9 for Granado, and that'll now bring up the extra hitter number 8, Cooper Smith. And as I was saying, for the Pilots, base running error there from Michael Flaherty. Thought that was going to be a bloop single from Dom Cameron, and it appeared that way up here. But the left fielder made a great play and caught up to it. Kind of acted as if he wasn't going to get to the ball and threw back to second for the out. So Cooper Smith steps back in. First pitch of the AB from Bartling misses high and away. Count it 1-0. As Cooper Smith will step back in now for these Newark Pilots. So we're in the top of the 7th. That one's going to be fouled off the face mask of the catcher, Gage Boltman. Count it 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 7th. As Cooper Smith will step back in now for that one swung on and missed by Cooper Smith of the Elmira Pioneers. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count in the top of the 7th. And we were talking about this during the break, me and the PA announcers and the staff up here. That one's hit to the second baseman who fields and throws. Colangelo throws on to Ferrara at first, so a 4-3 ground out. And Colt Bartling has retired 8 straight Pioneers batters since coming into the game. And that'll now be the second baseman, number 9, Aiden Blake, coming up. And Colt Bartling, since coming into the game for the Newark Pilots, has been all business and giving the Pioneers, running them roughshod up and down the lineup. As Bartling will come back in. Breaking pitch, drops into the zone for a strike, and quickly ahead in the count is Bartling 0-1 to Aiden Blake, who is at second base tonight wearing number 9 in the navy blue uniforms for these Elmira Pioneers. 1-4-3 for him on the night. Second pitch in there for a strike as well, and Bartling dominating the Pioneers here thus far. Bartling coming into this game with a 4.1 inning pitch and a 12.46 ERA, so certainly not pitching to what his ERA is at. Pitching way better than that, and it should lower the ERA significantly since coming into this game. That pitch missed high and away for a ball. Count it 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. The 1-2 pitch from Bartling misses low in the dirt. Great stop there from Gage Boltman, who has not allowed anything by him behind the dish tonight. Probably one of the best defensive catchers for the Pilots on this roster from East Central University. So Blake steps back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch from Bartling. That one swung on and popped up into right center field. DiMartino trailing, and he makes the play. So 9 straight batters since coming into the game for Colt Bartling. He is set down. 9 up, 9 down for Colt Bartling. Heading to the bottom of the 7th, the Pilots looking to come alive. 5-0 Pioneers lead. We'll be right back on Figure Lakes 1 Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. We are back here on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. Be Chris Ferrara leading things off for the Pilots here in the bottom half of the seventh. Again, 5-0 your score as the Pioneers lead the Pilots. And Colt Bartling coming on in relief has been very good for these Pilots, setting down 9 straight batters. Justin DiMartino awaits on deck for the Pilots. As that one in there for a strike to the batter. As that one misses low as well. As Chris Farrar steps back in. 1 ball, 1 strike. And again, 5-0 your score in the bottom of the 7th inning. The 1-1 pitch taken for a strike. Count it 1-2 now. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs here. Justin DiMartino awaits on deck. Chris Farrar will step out of the batter's box for the Newark Pilots and will quickly step back in. So Chris Ferrara steps back in. The pitch, that one misses low. Count it 2-2 now. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs here. As the 2-2 pitch. That one swung and hit by Ferrara down the first base line. The first baseman fields it and steps on the bag. A 3 unassisted put out for Chris Ferrara. And that will now bring up Justin DiMartino for the Pilots from Bethpage, New York, by way of Farmingdale State University, as he will step in. His brother Frankie DiMartino awaits on deck for the Pilots. First pitch of the AB to DiMartino misses low and will go to the backstop. Counts at 1-0. And there was a pitching change for the Pioneers, and it's number 21. Just trying to grab their roster real quick, as that's number 21, Devin Murray from Rochester Hills, Minnesota. No, not Rochester, New York. As it's Devin Murray pitching now. Counts at 1-1. That pitch in there for a strike. So Devin Murray coming on to pitch for the Pioneers. The lefty, 1-1 pitch, drops in there for a strike. Count at 1-2 now. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning is Murray. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch, taken in there for strike 3, the second out of the inning. So unfortunate break there for DiMartino, and that'll now bring up his brother Frankie DiMartino. So Frankie DiMartino will come up to the plate. So Frankie DiMartino from Hofstra University will step up with 2 outs, and Devin Murray with 2 quick outs since coming into this ball game for the Elmira Pioneers. The pitch swung on and fouled. And the count's at 0-1 now. So no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs to Frankie DiMartino, who steps up. The the center fielder tonight for the Pilots. As the 0-1 is fouled off down the third base line. counts it 0-2 quickly to DiMartino. And Devin Murray, since coming in, dominating thus far, and only two batters in his third batter's face. DiMartino quickly had behind in the count 0-2. So Pilots down to their final 7 outs of the ninth. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. The 0-2 pitch from Murray. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So 1-2-3 go the Pilots, heading to the top of the 8th inning. The Pioneers lead the Pilots 5-0. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, top of the 8th inning. And Colt Bartling, since coming in, has retired 9 straight Elmira Pioneers batters. It'll bring up Blaze Fadio, the shortstop for the Pioneers. 0 for 1 on the night with a walk and a hit by pitch. As he steps in, first pitch from Bartling misses for a ball, count at 1-0. And no one warming in the Pilots' pen right now, as Bartling has been running roughshod, as I mentioned, over this Pioneers lineup. 1-0 pitch taken for a strike, count at 1-1 now. As Colt Bartling steps back in and has completely turned his season around just in this outing. As that one swung on and hit into left field for a base hit. So leadoff single, and that breaks the streak of 9 straight retired for Bartling, but that'll now bring up Wes Gingrich for the Pioneers. Gingrich will step in, batting .222 coming into tonight. He's 0 for 3 on the night with a pair of strikeouts, swinging, and a line out to the shortstop, Michael Flaherty, in the first. So Gingrich will step in. Fadio on first. The pitch from Bartling, that one swung on and missed. Big pitch there from Colt Bartling. And you got to think that having a familiar face behind the dish in his college teammate at East Central University there in Oklahoma, Gage Boatman, has been factoring into the overall performance of Bartling, as Bartling's done very well for these Pilots so far. 3 innings of work, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, and he has a 23-6 strike-to-ball ratio, which is significantly good. The 1-1 pitch is popped up, this one behind the dish. Boatman underneath it makes the grab for the first out of the inning. So a pop-up for Wes Gingrich, and there is 1 away here in the top of the 8th inning. As that will now bring up Nick Montagna, the third baseman for the Pioneers tonight. He is 0 for 3 thus far with a line out to Timmy Wagner at third base, a ground out 6-4 in the 4th, and strikeout swinging back in the 5th in his first plate appearance against Colt Bartling. So first pitch from Bartling to Montagna misses for a ball, count at 1-0. 1 balls, no strikes, and 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. As Nick Montagna steps back in. Pickoff attempt will just keep Fadio close over there at first base. Pilots just looking to wake up the bats offensively. Since coming in, I mean, honestly, you look at many games in this league, in the PGCBL, a lot of the final scores are 7-6, 8-6. Usually the winning team typically scores about 8 runs, maybe more, in most of the games for the PGCBL. So, and the Pilots have been on the short end of that stick so far for most of the season. It's been the bats that haven't been able to wake up for the Pilots. Pitching has kept them in almost every game for the most part. There have been an exception of a few games where they haven't been in it, but still getting shut out in their last appearance against Elmira, they didn't have a chance. 8-0 was the score of that last game. So 3 straight balls from Colt Bartling to Nick Montagna. And in danger of putting runners on first and second, the 3-0 pitch from Bartling, taken for a strike right at the letters, fastball. Count it 3-1 now. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here. Across the board, 5 runs on 7 hits, 1 error, and for the Pilots, no runs on 5 hits, 2 errors. Thus far here tonight, as the 3-1 pitch taken for a strike as well. Back-to-back strikes from Bartling, bouncing back in the count. And the Pilots have left 6 runners on base in scoring position here tonight. Even scoring half of those would have this at a 5-3 ball game, completely different game. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch from Bartling, swung on a miss, strike 3. Another strikeout for him, his 3rd strikeout of the game. And there are 2 away quickly in the top of the 8th. That'll now bring up Spencer Aubin, the right fielder, number 42 for the Elmira Pioneers. Aubin will step in with a walk to his credit and came around to score in the 4th. So the first pitch to him. That one's swung and line back up the middle, right to Colangelo, who can't make the play. It bounces off his glove. So that will be a base hit for Spencer Aubin on a liner right back to him. And that'll now bring up Matt Frazetta. Frazetta, the first baseman, wearing number 44 for the Elmira Pioneers tonight, as he is 1 for 2 on the night thus far. Had a walk, a double with an RBI in the 4th. And grounded out 5-3 back in the 6th. So Frazetta steps in for his 4th plate appearance of the evening. First pitch to him, swung on and fouled out of play. Count at 0-1. And the Pioneers have 2 runners on base, 1 at second in Blaze Fadio, and the runner on first base for the Pioneers is Spencer Aubin. So Frazetta steps back in. The 0-1 pitch from Colt Bartling as he looks the runner. The deliver misses low and inside. Count it 1-1 now. So 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here. Top of the 8th inning, 5-0 your score. Pilots just looking for some runs. That one swung on and hit, popped up into shallow center. Frankie DiMartino doesn't have to move much. Makes the play for the 3rd out of the inning. So another inning of scoreless work for Colt Bartling. Heading to the bottom of the 8th. The Pilots will look to wake up those bats. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. back here at Historic Colburn Park for another inning of baseball. As it'll be Stephen Colangelo leading things off from St. Lawrence University in upstate New York for the Newark Pilots. 5-0 your score as the Pioneers lead the Pilots in the bottom of the 8th inning. Colangelo will step in to face Devin Murray, who went 1-2-3 to the Pilots, set them down 1-2-3 back in the 7th inning. So first pitch taken for a strike, count at 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike, no outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. As the pitch swung on and missed, another pitch, count at 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, no outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Stephen Colangelo steps back up. That one misses away, count at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strike, no outs here. Stephen Colangelo will step back in. The 1-2 pitch. In there, strike 3. Colangelo not happy with the call. 3 straight strikeouts for Devin Murray. And another one away. That'll bring up Tim Wagner for the Pilots. So Tim Wagner will step in now for the Newark Pilots bunch. That one taken for a strike, count at 1-0. That one fouled off. Count at 0-2 now.
Trying to make it now 4 consecutive strikeouts if he can get 1 more here. And now Murray will ask for a new baseball from the catcher for the Martin's team. 0-2 the count still to Wagner. Murray, it would be his 4th consecutive strikeout if he can get it right here. 1 out.
So Tim Colangelo steps back in. No balls, 2 strikes.
And pretty much with the Pilots on life support.
With Tyler Walters awaiting on deck for the Pilots.
Murray, 0-2 count.
So no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Tyler Walters waits on deck. That one swung on and fouled in the netting. Count at 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Pilots down to their final 5 outs. Just looking to get a run across as it's been a struggle. 6 runners left in scoring position for the Pilots here this evening. Walters awaits on deck for the Pilots. Had a single in his last debut. The 0-2 pitch just misses low. Count at 1-2. As that one was very close to the knee level of Timmy Wagner. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Bottom of the 8th inning. Tim Wagner steps back in for the Pilots. The 1-2 pitch from Murray. That one misses low. Count it 2-2 now. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. And the Pilots looking for some 1-out magic here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Just looking to put some runs on the board. It's been a struggle. Looking to avoid getting shut out for the 2nd time from Elmira in the 2nd meeting here. That one's trying to hit. That one's going to be hit into center field. The center fielder trails. Underneath it, makes the play for the out. 2 away. As the first pitch in there for a strike, count at 0-1 to Tyler Walters after the flyout to center field from Timmy Wagner. Walters will step back in with 2 gone here. 1 for 2 on the night, singled back in the 5th inning. 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Strike two, count it 0-2 now to Tyler Walters. As Walters will step back in for the Newark Pilots. Devin Murray has been all business since coming in. Pilots have yet to have a base runner on him. No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. That one misses. Count at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tyler Walters will step back in as it's Gage Boatman awaiting on deck for the Pilots. The 1-2 pitch. That one misses low in the dirt. Walters did not offer at it. Great job of holding the bat back there. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As Tyler Walters will step back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. 5-0 your score. Bottom of the 8th. Pilots looking for a miracle. The 2-2 pitch swung and fouled into the netting. So we will do the 2-2 yet again here at Colburn Park. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here to Tyler Walters. As Walters comes back in from Suwanee, Georgia, and played his college ball at Georgia College State University last year. Currently in the transfer portal. Blazing speed and a power bat for the Pilots. A 2-2 pitch in there on the corner. As Walters draws a line in the dirt. Lucky he didn't get tossed there for the Pilots. Strike 3, and Walters not happy with the call and can't say I blame him. Heading to the top of the 9th, the Pilots lead the Pilots 5-0. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. Back here on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. 5-0 your score heading to the top of the 9th inning. Pilots, 6 runners left in scoring position tonight. Would be a completely different ball game if they were able to bring a couple runs across. Colt Bartling out for another inning of work, and I was just talking about this with some of the colleagues over the break. Anytime you use 2 pitchers in a game, more than likely you should win the game. Well, the Elmira Pioneers have used 2 pitchers in the game as well with the Newark Pilots. So we've only seen 4 total pitchers here tonight. Score is 5-0. Very unfortunate break for the Pilots as the 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. Count at 1-1 to Eric Charnetsky, the designated hitter, leading things off for the Pioneers here. 1-1 pitch from Bartling. That one drops in up the middle as Flaherty fields it and throws over to Ferrari at first. 6-3, ground out for Charnetsky to lead off the top of the 9th inning, and that will now bring up Brody Bartenstein, the catcher, 0 for 2 on the night thus far with a walk and came around to score in the 5th. Bartenstein came into tonight batting .250 for this Pioneers team, as Brody Bartenstein will step up to the batter's box to face Colt Bartling. And so far for Bartling, 4.1 innings of work, 2 hits and 3 strikeouts. He has a 31-11 strike to ball ratio. So at that rate, he's throwing a strike pretty much at like 75%. I'm no mathematician, but it's about 75%, as that one's hit foul down the line. Count at 1-1. Cole Bartling will step back on the mound for the Pilots. No walks either. He hasn't walked a guy. Bartling has been very solid for the Pilots since coming in. Certainly couldn't have asked for a better relief pitcher in this game than Bartling. What he's done tonight, he's been absolutely dominant as he steps back on the mound. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here, top of the ninth. The 1-1 pitch from Bartling in there for a strike on the inner half of the plate. Bartenstein not happy with the call, voicing his frustration with the home plate umpire. And again, I've never seen a player, Walters is the first player, Tyler Walters, for the Newark Pilots to draw a line in the dirt in front of the umpire and still be in the game after that last strikeout, which was off the outer edge of the plate. I have a bird's eye view right up here from the press box at Colburn Park as the 1-2 pitch is fouled off by Bartenstein. And we'll do the 1-2 again as Colt Bartling will step back on the mound. There is someone warming up in the Pilots bullpen. It might just be for show, just in case Bartling puts on a couple guys here as his pitch count's getting a little bit higher for a reliever as the 1-2 pitch misses. Counts at 2-2 now. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here, top of the 9th inning. Across the board for the Pioneers, 5 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. As Bartling comes set, the rock, 2-2 pitch. That one in there, strike 3. A very, very delayed call, but nonetheless, it was the correct call. That is Bartling's 4th strikeout of the game. And 2 away now. Backwards K, ring him up for Brody Bartenstein. That'll now bring up the leadoff hitter, Matt Granato, the left fielder, 2 for 4 thus far in the night with a pair of singles and scored in both of those and a pair of flyouts. 1 to Frankie DiMartino in center field and Frankie Vanzalata in right field. First pitch of the AB taken for a strike right down the heart of the plate, count at 0-1. And only could have imagined what could have been had Colt Bartling started the game or Pilots put up some runs here, but we're obviously thinking of 2 different things at the moment. 1 ball, 1 strike. Matt Granato steps back in. The 1-1 pitch from Bartling. That one swung on and popped up out of play. Count at 1-2 now. So 1 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. We shall see if the Pilots can wake those bats up in the bottom half. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Swung on and that one popped up into shallow right field. Colangelo underneath it makes the play for the out. So Bartling puts down the Pioneers 1-2-3 to end likely his outing unless the Pilots can put a miracle together. The Pios lead the Pilots 5-0 by 5 runs. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. We're back here on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. Pilots trail by 5, but the Rocky theme song was just playing here at Colburn Park. So I expect the Pilots not to go down without a fight, as Gage Boatman will lead things off for the Pilots, the 10-hole hitter. Frankie Vanzalata on the top of the order, wait on deck. So Boatman just looking to find his way on base. Devin Murray still pitching for the Pioneers. The first pitch of the AB does not miss. That one in on the outer half of the plate for a strike. And clearly, myself and the umpire have two different strike zones. So no balls, one strike. The 0-1 pitch, that one swung on and fouled into the parking lot here at Colburn Park. Count at 0-2 now to Gage Boatman, as Boatman will step back in for the Pilots. No balls, two strikes. No outs here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Pilots again looking for a miracle. They trail by 5. We'll see if they can get the bats woken up and score some runs here as Boatman steps back in. The 0-2 pitch from Devin Murray misses low. Count at 1-2 now. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. 5-0 your score in the bottom of the ninth. The 1-2 pitch swung on and fouled off the batter. Boatman in the batter's box. So we'll do the 1-2 again. And again, just a reminder, the Newark Pilots will be back at home on Thursday against the Auburn Double Days. So make sure you either tune in or make a trip to the ballpark here at Colburn for that game. That one's trying to hit to second base as he fields it, throws on to first. A 4-3 ground out to lead off the bottom of the ninth for Gage Boatman. Pilots have one away. That'll now bring up Frankie Vanzalata. As Vanzalata will step up to the plate for the Pilots now. So Frankie Vanzalata will step up to face Devin Murray, who's been all business for the Pioneers thus far. Still has yet to give up a hit to the Pilots. First pitch taken for a strike, count at 0-1 to Vanzalata. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Across the board for the Pilots, no runs on 5 hits, 2 errors, and 5 runs on 8 hits, 1 error for the Pioneers. The 0-1 pitch taken for a strike. That one looked a little low from up here. Counts at 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. As Frankie Vanzalata will step back in. The 0-2 pitch. Has that one in there for strike 3. And there's 2 away now. And that'll now bring up the shortstop, Michael Flaherty. And that one was nearly in the dirt. As this is Tristan Head, the University of Virginia commit. This will come to the plate for the Newark Pilots now. So Tristan Head replacing at shortstop. First pitch in there for a strike.
Murray 2 strikes away from ending this one.
So no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. The 0-1 pitch bounced in the dirt. And I'm not sure if that one would have been a strike, but he didn't call it a strike. As that one was a very close pitch at home. That one could have been a strike, I'm not sure, but the umpire didn't call it a strike, so the count's at 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. As the 1-1 pitch, that one swung on and missed. Count at 1-2. To Tristan Head, who's pinch hitting for the Pilots here, batting 176 on the summer thus far for Michael Flaherty. 1 ball, 2 strike, 2 outs here. 2
outs here in the bottom of the ninth, 1 strike away. Murray now sets.
As the 1-2 pitch nearly hits him. As the count's now at 2-2.
Murray still only one strike away. Can he pick up his 6th strikeout?
As 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Pilots down to their final strike.
Looking for the finishing blow here for the Pilots. Sets.
The 2-2 pitch. That one swung on and missed. Strike 3 for the final out of the game. The Pioneers defeat the Pilots. Your final score, 5-0. As we will see you next time. Again, the Pilots will be back at home on Thursday, right here on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel against the Auburn Double Days. It's always been a pleasure. My name is Kyle French. We'll see you next time on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel.